So in this video, we'll be going over Gaussian elimination. So a linear system could have three outcomes. One of them is that the system is inconsistent, meaning that there is no solution for the system. Now inconsistent, there could be exactly one solution. Example is that x is equal to 1, or infinitely many, such that let's say x is equal to x, or this one. So now let's see some examples and this will be more clear for you. So here we have three equations, and the first step that we have to do here is write the augmented matrix for these three equations with the equal to the right hand side. So that will look like, so all we did is write the coefficients of x1 here, x1, x2, x3 here, and then equal to whatever is on the right hand side. So here in the second equation we don't have x1 here, so that's why I wrote 0 here. So you have to be careful when you're writing the augmented matrix also. And now what we have to perform is the row Echelon form, and I have made a video on that, more detailed video, and I'll be doing the operations right now to convert it into the row Echelon form, which basically means that we have three pivots and there is no digits, non-zero digits below the pivots. So the first operation that we have to perform is that we need to do minus 5r1 plus r3 to get rid of this 5 over here. So that will give us this following matrix, and now we need to get rid of this 2 over here because this is below the pivot, and to do that we need to do the, let me just highlight what I'm getting rid of. Yep. So now we need to do the operation of minus r2 plus r3 to get rid of this 2 here, and we'll get the following matrix as, and this is the following matrix that we get. And now we can see that this is in REF now, so let me highlight that. So these are the three pivots, and now we can write it in the equations form again. So we just need to construct the linear system again, but this time with the following coefficients. So let me just rewrite this, x3. So now we know that the coefficient of x3 here is 2, and it is equal to minus 2. So here we can write that 2x3 is equal to minus 2, and then therefore x3 is equal to negative 1. For the second equation, we see that the coefficient is 2 for x2 and negative 3 for x3. So here it will be 2x2 minus 3x3 is equal to 1 on the right hand side. And now we substitute x3 as we found it before, and we do that by doing this. So let me just write it quickly. So finally we get that x2 is equal to negative 1 also. And now the first equation, so we can find x1 here. So here it is that x1 minus 2x2 plus 3x3 is equal to 5, and then we get that x1 plus 2 minus 3 is equal to 5, and then we find that x1 is 6. So the final answers here are x1 is equal to 6, x2 is equal to negative 1, and x3 is equal to negative 1 also. And here we see that we get the red exactly one solution here. So now let's see another example here. So here we have a linear system of till x5. So first step again is to construct the augmented matrix, and let's do that now. So whenever you're constructing the augmented matrix, you have to be very careful of the coefficients. So you can see that in the first equation we don't have an x1 and we don't have x4, and we have to write zeros there. So don't make any silly mistakes in this, and because this will just like ruin your answer from the start. Okay, so now we have to get the REF, and let's do the operations now. So the first operation that we have to do is switch R1 with R2. So let's do R1 switch R2, and we get the following matrix as this now. And our next operation will be to get rid of this 1 in the row 3. So we will do minus R1 plus R3, and you will get as this now. And our next step now, this is the first pivot, this is the second pivot in the row, and we need to get rid of this 2 below it. Let me just highlight it. So let's do the operations of minus R2 plus R3, and you will get the following matrix as this now. And now you can notice that we have a 0 row here, and it is equal to -8. So what this means now is that, let me write it so it will be more clear. So 0x1, let me write x1 plus 0x2 plus 0x3 blah 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 is equal to -8, and all of them are zeros. So this is impossible and is undefined. So here we can stop here and say that the system is inconsistent because of this reason here. So whenever you have a 0 row and it is equal to something, then you can directly stop and say that the system is inconsistent. In another example, like all this left entire row is 0. So what this is basically saying that 0 is equal to -8, which is not possible, undefined. So here's another way of looking at it. So you have zeros on the left hand side, and it is equal to k, where k is a non-zero number. It cannot be 0. So k is anything except 0. So here's our last example here. So we again have 3 unknown elements in this equation, and let's write the augmented matrix. So here is the augmented matrix, and now I'm not going to go in details again and show each step for REF, and I'm just going to show the final answer after all the calculations of REF. Here we get the final matrix after performing REF as this now, and we notice that even though we have 3 unknowns, which are x, y, and z, we only have 2 pivots over here. So whenever you have less pivots than the number of unknowns, you know that there are infinitely many solutions. So here now we're gonna write it again in the equations format, and to do that, let me just write it. So for the second equation, it's gonna be y minus 3z is equal to 1, and the first one is x plus 0y minus 7z is equal to -5. So let me just simplify here. So whenever you don't have the equation for one of the coefficients, that variable z here is a free variable. So let me just simplify this right now. So y is equal to y 1 plus 3z, and x here is equal to -5 plus 7z, and here you have to write z is any real number. Or also let me write this in matrix format. I mean, both of the answers are correct. I'll just show you the matrix format also. So this is how you write it in the matrix format. So x, y, z, and then equal to whatever x is equal to. So here x is equal to -5 plus 7z, and y is equal to 1 plus 3z, and the free variable you write it as is, and then again you have to mention this. So now there is a shortcut method on the calculator where I'll be making a YouTube short on it. So basically what you have to do, so you just have to plug in the 3 equations on your calculator, and it will give you the final answer. So either it is undefined, exactly one solution, or infinitely many solution. and this helps you recheck your answer if you made any silly mistakes. So keep an eye on that. uh, thanks for watching.